everybody. Welcome back to my studio. My name is Jane Fairorth, and I'm one of the many great teachers at West End Yoga in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And while we're very sad that we can't spend time with you in the studio, we miss all of you, and hopefully you miss us as well. We are happy to be able to offer classes here on YouTube. You can also upload them to our Facebook page on West End Yoga Studio. You can always find them there. You can do them live with us, or you can do them at any time that it fits in your schedule. So for today's class, I always recommend 2 blocks. I like to have a strap. I don't know if we'll specifically need any of these, or if you will specifically need any of these, but for now, that's what I would go with. Let's start in a seated position today. Anything comfortable. If you are sitting in simple crossed legs, you will have one leg in front and one leg behind, and eventually about halfway through this, I'll ask you to switch that cross. Okay, so a couple of big breaths in and out, just feeling the capacity of your lungs today. What's available? Try and have this be a balanced breath where your inhales and exhales are equal in length, and there's a slight pause at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. Just getting into the rhythm of that, like a wave-like motion through your lungs, through your body. And then switch the cross of your legs. So you're getting an even opening through the hips in this very passive hip opener. And from here, bring your right hand behind and your left hand onto your right thigh somewhere. Press your spine tall, open your collarbones wide. Twist to the right on your exhale breath. Again, get tall on the inhale and twist on the exhale. Back through center. Left hand behind, right hand onto the left thigh. Inhale, breath to get long. Exhale, breath to twist. Lengthen as you breathe in. Rotate as you breathe out. And back to center. Left arm high to the sky and stretch over to the side. Getting a side body stretch on the left. Sink your sitting bone down while you reach your fingers away. Come back to neutral. Left hand down, right arm up. Stretching the right side waist, sinking the right hip down. And then 10 fingertips behind, broad collarbones. Drop your head if it's comfortable. And then release, forward fold. If you'd like to fold forward over cross legs, that's fine. If you prefer child's pose, that's also fine. And then roll over your knees so you come into tabletop position. You can be lengthwise on your mat at this point. Use an inhale breath for saggy cow. Drop the belly down, lift the collarbones. Exhale, press the spine to the sky. Drop your head down. Again, inhale, saggy cow. Try and keep the arms stacked. They don't move at all. It's really just the spine that's moving. Exhale, breath, cat-tail. One more time. Inhale, saggy cow. Exhale, cat-tail. Come back to neutral. Reach your right arm forward, your left leg back. Try to lift the limbs up, close your low ribs, elongate through the spine. Now you might be perfectly comfortable here, but if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can lift the right toes off the ground a little bit. Balance on your right knee and your left palm. You'll definitely be wobbling. I am so wobbling. And then bring it back in. That definitely gets your core fired up. Okay, so now right leg back, left arm forward. Once again, we're reaching the limbs long, we're lifting them high. You can hold right here. This could be fine for you. Maybe you want to lift the left foot up off the ground, balance on the left knee and the right palm. Whoa! And then bring it back in. Downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, lift the heels, or sink the heels towards the ground. Lift the butt high to the sky. Keep a bend in your knees. This is about lengthening the spine. If you can sink your heels down, you might notice that will put a slight roundness into your spine. So if you can sink the knees towards the ground slightly and find the lengthening in the spine, I think you'll be much happier. Inhale high to tiptoes, come out to high plank. You can hold high plank just like this. You could drop your knees if that feels more supportive to you, totally fine. Take a breath in. As you exhale, shift a little bit forward and slowly lower down just about 3 inches. Elbows close to the side of your body. Still broad collarbones, close low ribs. And then all the way to the ground. Wrists right underneath your elbows, tops of the feet press into the floor. Inhale, breath, cobra. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, cobra. Keep the tops of the feet pushing down into the ground. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, breath. Maybe it's cobra, it might be lifted cobra, it might be upward facing dog for you at this point. Completely your call. Exhale, downward facing. Couple of breaths in, couple of breaths out. Keep the softness in the knees until you feel that your hamstrings have started to loosen, and then maybe you can sink the heels a little bit closer to the ground, but it's really more about lengthening the spine. Look forward, feet to hands. Let's do a couple of sun A's. Inhale, halfway lift. Long, tall, strong spine that's parallel to the ground. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to stand, 10 fingers to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, high plank. Full breath in. As you exhale, a little bit forward and down, about 3 inches. All the way to the ground, wrists right under elbows. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing. Full breath in. Let it out. Take it in. And empty. One more time. Exhale. Look forward, feet to hand. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back, high plank. Full breath in. Exhale, shift forward and down. Either go all the way to the ground or come to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing. Full breath in. Let it out. Again, take air in. Let it out. One more inhale breath. Let it go. Look forward, feet to hands, hanging forward fold. Inhale all the way to stand. 10 fingers to the sky. Utkatasana, chair pose. You're sinking your hips back to a seat of a chair that you'll never ever reach. So the weight is going to go dramatically into the heels of your feet, but you can even lift the toes and see that they're nice and light. You can lay them back down. So most of the work is happening in the heels of your feet, maybe into the balls of your feet. If arms up don't feel good, put them on your thighs. So to give yourself a little challenge here, come up to tippy toes. Trying to lift way, way high up, but the hips stay nice and low towards your heels. Heels are lifting up towards your hips. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Head down, heels to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, keep the right foot where it is and step your left foot back. So it's a nice runner stretch here. If your block makes this pose more accessible, if it gives you broad collarbones and a nice tall spine, that's great. If you feel like you're having this situation happening in your back, grab a block. This is a much more sustainable pose for your whole body. So, hanging out right here. Take an inhale breath to straighten your legs, drop your head towards your right shin. Exhale breath, the hips drop down, the heart lifts up. Inhale breath, raise the hips, drop the head. Exhale breath, sink the hips down, lift the heart up. One more time. Exhale breath. No, I'm sorry, the exhale for the dropping of the hips. Struggling with the words today. So land here with the right knee directly over the right ankle, lengthening back through the left hip. You can have the block here still if you'd like. Put the left hand on the block, reach the right arm to the sky. It's a simple twist here. However, try and have weight into the inner edge of your right foot, the big toe side. Really, people want to put the weight in the pinky edge of their foot when they do this. And then drop the other hand down to the ground. Step the left foot forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Utkatasana. Sink the hips down. Again, if the arms up in the sky do not feel good to you, cactus arms work, hands on thighs work. Most of the work in this pose is happening in your legs. The arms in the sky intensify it, but they're not a necessary part of the pose. If you want to add on here, way up high to your tiptoes. Way, way up. One more inhale. Exhale, fold. Head down, heels to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground. Step your right foot back. High lunge. Again, assess. Is the floor too far away? Will a block make this pose more accessible for you? If the answer is yes, grab a block. Totally fine. Lengthen the outer edge of the left hip back. Lift the right hip up. Knee stacks directly over the ankle. Inhale, breath, hips rise, head lowers. Exhale, breath, sink the hips, lift the heart. Inhale, I'm mixing this up. Inhale, hips rise. Exhale, hips lower, heart lifts. One more time. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, lower down, lift the heart. Good. Now whether you use a block or not is completely up to you. Right hand will stay on the floor or the block, left arm reaches to the sky. So again, it's a lengthening of the outer edge of the left hip, a lift of the right hip, especially from the hamstring. Use the hamstring of your right leg to create that. Press into the big toe side of your left foot. Both hands down to the ground. Step your right foot forward. Hanging forward fold. Nice and easy, just warming up. Come up to stand. So I don't know about what the weather is like where you are, but right now it's a gray kind of day outside my window. So on gray days when there seems to be a lot of moisture in the air, balancing poses are a really good thing to do. So, and I love balancing pose. So we're going to work on some balancing poses today. So standing, and the one thing that is very important about balancing poses, whether you tell yourself you can or you can't, you're most likely right. So you might as well tell yourself you can do this. Even if you fall out of the pose, nobody can see you, nobody cares, just have some fun with it. So standing on the right foot, 12 o'clock, softish knee, pick up your left leg. So you're driving the heel towards the ground and lifting the toes towards your face. So there's a lot of activity happening in your left leg already. Compress the front and back side of your body towards each other. Keep your collarbones open, your low ribs closed. Push your heel forward as you exhale. Bend the knee. Stretch your leg all the way back. Use the smile of your butt. All of your hamstring is doing the heavy lifting here. If you want to put a hand on the block, you can certainly put a hand on the block. Now, you've got some options. You can hang out just like this, whether hands are at heart center or on a block, your call. But if you want to do some leg presses, slowly bend the right knee and press back up. Almost as if you're using your leg as a hydraulic machine. Three times is probably fine. Now, very slowly, bend the knee once again. As you move the left foot back to the back edge of your mat and come into a crescent lunge. Now, I'm a person who likes a bend in my back knee for crescent lunge. It just helps me stack shoulders over hips, crown over tail. If that works better for you, then I would recommend it. So hang out in your crescent lunge for a second, just so you can give your hips the chance to move towards the head of the mat, both of them equally. That will probably have you wrapping your left hip a little bit more forward than you think you need to. Oops. And drawing your right hip back slightly. Cactus arms. So you've got a 90-90 maybe in your legs, and now you've got the 90-degree angle in your arms. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, move your ribs towards the right. Try and keep the left hip forward as you do this. Not so it's dramatically so and you're twisting, but that you're not coming out of it. And then back to center. 10 fingertips to the sky. Now smear the whole of your back foot down on the ground. It's warrior one foot. So the outer heel and the inner big toe are pressed down. Now try and wrap the left hip a little bit more forward. You might not be lunging as deeply, but that's okay. Turn the palms away. Air presses down. Interlace the fingers low at your spine. Humble warrior. Come back up, 10 fingers to the sky. Come back to crescent lunge so you're on the ball of the left foot once again. The heel is in the sky. Take a couple of hops. Woo. And come up to warrior three. Now if arms forward is really not nice in your body, bring your hands to heart center or reach them back. Then come all the way up to stand. Pull the left knee up and forward, down to the ground. Take a couple of breaths in and out. Not used to doing yoga and talking at the same time. Hopefully I'm not sounding too out of breath. So let's switch that over to the other side. Left leg is going to stay on the ground. right knee picks up, and the same things are happening here. It's a 12 o'clock foot, slightly softish knee, heel of the right foot drops down, toes lift up. Belly muscles back, zip towards your chin, close your low ribs, open your collarbones. All of these things are happening at the same time. Push your right heel forward, bend the knee, all the way back for airplane. Now I would recommend either hands at heart center or fingertips on a block for this first round. Lengthening up to the outer edge of the left hip. You might have to drop your right hip down slightly. So the leg presses. Bend the knee. Push through all four corners of your left foot to lift you up. Slow, slow, slow descension. Press up with control. One more time. Nice. Now very slowly, all the way back. Crescent lunge situation. Adjust your stance when you land. So lengthwise and widthwise, adjust your stance. Make sure that the left knee is directly over the ankle. Good, and give yourself a little bit of time to settle into this. Imagine you have the headlights on your hips. They're both pointing straight ahead towards the head of your mat. You might want to wrap your right hip a little bit more forward. Feels like you will be drawing the outer edge of the left hip back. Cactus arms, so the 90-degree angles in the arms and the legs. Big breath in. As you exhale, twist towards your left leg. Keep the elbows broad, low ribs closed. Back to center. Reach the arms up. Put the whole of your back foot down on the ground so it's a warrior one foot. And now try to wrap the right hip forward. It probably won't go all the way forward. This is a very challenging stance in most people's pelvises. In the 10 years I've been teaching, I've never seen anybody be able to wrap both their hips forward. So just work it as best as it is in your body. Turn the palms away. Press the air down. Interlace the fingers low at the spine. Humble warrior. Come all the way back up. And return to a crescent lunge. So the heel of your right foot is in the sky. 10 toes face forward. And then we hop a couple of times till you're in warrior 3 or airplane, whichever works better for your body. And then nice and slow, pull the right knee up and plant the foot on the ground. Big breath in. And out. Have a back bend if that feels good. If you'd rather have a forward fold is fine. Neither one of those works. Okay. Moving on. Standing on the right foot once again. Pick up the left. Flexion in the ankle. Take a big breath in. Push the heel forward. Bend the knee, reach the leg back, use the smile of the butt, use the hamstring, lift the leg up. Few breaths here. And then half moon pose. Left hip rolls up on top of the right. If you want to block, put a block underneath your right hand. I try and use the block as a guide, not as a crutch. Continue to roll the left hip up, 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 while your right leg stays neutral to the head of your mat. Toes and knee point straight forward. Bend the standing knee. Warrior two. Once again, when you land, adjust your stance widthwise and lengthwise. In warrior two, I like to take my right foot and move it towards the left edge of my mat. It helps me open my hips a little bit more. Maybe that works for you. You can certainly give it a try if you'd like. Knee directly over ankle. This is so no matter what. Outward rotation on the upper leg, inward rotation on the lower leg. So you can feel the outer heel and the inner big toe of both feet. Come down into the lunge, way into it. Square the shoulders. Hips probably won't go entirely square, but you can definitely square your shoulders. Flip your front palm, radiate the warrior. You're still bringing energy forward by pressing the shin of your right foot towards the head of your mat. And then extended side angle from here. So really nothing has changed about the legs. Some people rest their forearm on their thigh, and that's okay as long as you're not giving it too much weight. Otherwise, you can put the arm inside the leg and use the magnetic pressure between the two limbs to help give you more stability. Reverse warrior once again. This time you can straighten the front leg, stretch the pose open. And come back through neutral. Triangle. Triangle asks for a rectangular shaped torso. So many people will have this kind of shape in their upper side waist. See if you can soften the high side of your waist down. That will help give you more lengthening on the lower edge of your waist. Turn the left palm to face the head of the room. Stretch your arm overhead. 10 fingertips to the ground. Walk your right foot closer to the right edge of your mat if you moved it to the left. And come into a short warrior stance. For me, it's about 12 to 18 inches between my right heel and my left toes. It might be different for you. Some people could be further away or closer. Have a hamstring stretch down your back of your right leg. Have the left heel easily on the ground. A block if the floor feels far away. Totally fine. Now, tabletop spine. Some people like a block here. Some people just like their hand here. So you're just parallel in their whole torso from the ground to you. You look like equally parallel. Left arm stays down. Reach your right arm straight out to the right. I like a softness in my right knee when I do this. Big breath in, and then twist towards the right. This is revolved triangle, and this is definitely a challenging pose. If you are happy right here, stay right here. If you want more, move into revolved half moon by lifting your left leg to the sky. Use the hamstring to lift the leg. Whoa. Forward fold. That was enough for me. And now open to a wide-legged forward fold so your head's in the middle of the long edge of your mat, and just fold down. If you like a skandasana, you can do skandasana. If you just want to hang and let your spine traction, you may certainly do that too. And then turn the left toes towards the opposite head of your mat. And step your right foot forward. Hanging forward fold once again. Come all the way up. We'll do all of that on the opposite side of your body. So now standing on the left foot. Pick up, keep the softness in the standing knee, just slight. 12 o'clock foot. It's really tempting to turn it to 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock, but try and keep it at 12 o'clock. It's really much better for all of your joints. Pick up the right leg, flexion in the ankle, heel down, toes up. Big breath in, drive the heel forward. Bend the knee, reach the leg back, use the smile of the butt as if it is like a go-go gadget extender for your leg. And half moon pose from here. If you like the block, grab the block. Try and use it as a guide, not a crutch. If you do need pressure on it at first, great, have pressure on it first, but then try and give the energy to the rest of your body so your left fingertips don't need the block. They're just there as a guide. That's all it is. And then bend the standing knee all the way back, warrior two. Adjust your stance widthwise, lengthwise for your body, your availability today. There's nothing wrong with being in a pose where you're not fully in the lunge if that's what it's about for you today, but if you really want to be in it, go be way in it. Your call. Knee directly over the ankle. When you look forward, you can see at least the big toe of your left foot. Try and square the shoulders to the long edge of your mat. Press into the outer heel, inner big toe, both feet. Flip your front palm. Radiate the warrior. Stay heavy and dense in the pelvic bowl. Nice and easy and light through the torso. Hold here through the legs. Move the upper body into extended side angle. Again, choose whether your forearm is on the thigh or the arm is on the inside of the leg. Block. It's fine too. Back through warrior two. Reverse once again. This time you can straighten the front leg. Stretch the pose way open. Come up through neutral. Triangle pose. Again, it's the shirt box or the rectangle you're trying to create. If you feel like you can even reach up and feel the outer edge of the right side of your body. If you feel like it's ballooning up, right where your ribs are thick, see if you can soften that part of your body down. Turn your right palm to face the head of the room, stretch the arm overhead, 10 fingertips to the ground, shimmy your left foot closer to the left edge of your mat if you moved it. Short warrior stance. You can have a slight bend in both knees if that makes this pose more accessible. Certainly let your head be heavy, your spine be long. And tabletop spine. Continue to have a feeling that your right hip rocks forward, your left hip rocks back slightly. You can use the block if the block feels better underneath your hand. Completely fine. Move the left arm straight out to the left. Big breath in and move your ribs to the left. So your ribs don't go very far in this twist if your hips are staying neutral. If you're experiencing a big, huge twist here, you're probably moving your hips. Now you could choose to stay right here. This is a very challenging pose. If you do want a little bit more, move the block 6 inches forward, press all of the weight into the left leg, use the smile of your right butt to lift your right leg up. If you got heavy on the block when you did that, see if you can use other parts of your body to give you the lift, give you the energy. And then release. Forward fold. Stand up and have a back bend if that's better. And now, you can do this in the long edge of your mat, or you can stay facing either head. But let's move into goddess squat. So for students of my class on the regular, they know that goddess squat is probably one of my least favorite yoga poses. This one asks for, and I'll even do it from the side, you can probably see why I don't like this pose very much. This pose does ask for people to have their tailbone down and their crown up, and collarbones broad. I find that this is just a really difficult thing for me to do, to keep my collarbones moving forward and my shoulder blades moving slightly forward while my tailbone descends. Okay, from here, hands to the ground, crow pose. Now, crow pose, I'm already in crow pose, doing this. If you want to lift one foot, you can. If you want to lift both feet, you can. If you want to take this into a headstand, you can do that. If this does not feel nice on your wrists, you can do this pose on your forearms. Okay, and then release the pose. Child's pose. So I'll talk while you guys do child's pose. You can do child's pose in a couple of different ways. Maybe your knees are close together where you're supporting your torso on your thighs. Maybe your knees are wide apart where you're letting your belly rest in between. Either way is fine. This should feel very, very restorative. Very, very comfortable. Nice. And then come out of your child's pose, come up to sit a little bit. And actually come to stand. Let's do tree pose before we move on. So, tree pose is, in my mind, something that restores equanimity. So it's not just of your physical body, it's not just a balance in that way. It's also a balance of your, all of you, like your emotional body, your intellectual body, your spirit, your energy. All of these things are trying to come into a balanced state here. So, the standing leg, for me right now, it's going to be my left leg. It can be either leg, it doesn't really matter. But as much as you're offering a stable base here, you're using the energy of the right foot into the left leg in equal measure. So they're meeting together. They're holding each other up. One does not exist without the other. Notice how you draw everything into the center to send energy down and up. And then release on this side. Stand on two solid feet just for a second. Maybe even sway a little bit or go in a circular pattern so you get a sense of your stability in the ground. Now the right foot stays where it is and the left foot will meet it with equal measure. So even though your left leg is not on the ground right now, it's a vital part of this pose. You need the pressure of the leg, of the foot into the standing leg to help create the pose. That's what gives it the equanimity. for a moment. Come to sit. You can sit long ways on your spine, or long ways on your mat, sorry. So, boat pose. Boat pose is one of my favorites. This is a great total body pose. So, all of the principles that we've been talking about throughout the whole class, the front and back side of your body pressed towards each other, you move your collarbones broad but close your low ribs. All of this is happening in this pose. What happens on the lower half of your body is less, well, it's not like less important, but the setup is really in the upper part of the body. Like your toes can be on the ground the whole time you're doing boat pose and you're still doing boat pose. If you want, you can lift your low legs, but if it changes the shape of your upper body, don't do it. It's more important that you keep the upper body in this shape. Some people like to move their arms away. You can totally do that. If it made you collapse forward, don't do it. Hold behind the thighs. It helps there. Keep the breath flowing. And now take a longer boat. So you move the toes far away from your head. Arms can still stay out if you'd like. They can be behind the thighs if you like. Whew. And then release. Feet on the ground, forehead to your knees. Relax. And then open the knees wide. Feet far away from the head. Big diamond shape. Forward fold. Come up to sit. And let's do some hamstring stretching off to the side. So I have my left foot snuggled into my right thigh, and my right leg is in a diagonal line away from my body. So right now, I've got my hips and my shoulders stacked forward, and my leg is off on a diagonal line. So on purpose, turn your shoulders so they square off to your foot. Now, the toes are pointing straight up to the sky. The knee straight up to the sky. You've turned your whole body towards the leg, and you walk forward. Now, I have a strap. If you have a strap, this pose becomes way more accessible, especially if you're somebody like me who's got a lot of tightness in my hamstring. So a strap is awesome here. I can use both hands equally on the strap to pull me forward and keep my collarbones broad. And you can release the strap right now. And let's go into a side stretch. So I like to put my forearm on my lower leg. Some people like the forearm on the ground in front of their lower leg. Either way works. Reach the left arm up to the sky. Now this might be enough for you. And you might be like, oh wow, that's a huge stretch on the left side of my body. And that's fine, stay right there. If you want more, you take the arm overhead, but take your time doing this. Don't fling yourself into the pose. See where your body is able to go today. The slower you move, the more you'll figure out about your body. Try to keep the toes still pointing up, the knees still pointing up. And then forward fold into the center and release. Let's go to the other side. Now the left leg is moving out in a diagonal line, the right foot is snuggled into the thigh. You've got your shoulders right now square to the head of the mat. Toes up, knees up. Good. On purpose, turn your torso to face your foot, to square off towards your foot. It's likely I'll need the strap again, so I'll grab it. Good. Sitting up very tall. Come forward over the thigh. Even though the crown of my head is probably never going to touch my toes. That's where I am energetically thinking it will go. It's amazing how if you send your energy in a particular direction, even though you might not physically reach the goal, you will feel the extension, you will feel the work of it. And then come back up. Now we'll move into the side stretch, so whether that's the forearm resting on the top of the leg or inside the leg is completely up to you. Reach the right arm high. Assess what this is. Maybe this is plenty. Maybe you want to take the arm overhead. Side stretching is not something that we do a whole lot of in our daily life. And then release, forward fold. Bring the left foot in. Let's move into a full Paschimottanasana. That is both feet out in front of you. 10 toes up towards the sky. Again, the strap could be your friend here. I like widening the feet. I don't like my feet together when I do this pose. I like my feet a little bit wider, probably about hip width distance. It works better for me. You can keep a slight bend in the knees, especially if you have any kind of restriction in your hamstring or in your low back. That knees will help a lot with that. So trying to keep, I'll show you me from the side, trying to keep a tall torso, and I normally do this with bent knees. Tall torso moves forward, not a big rounded torso. So at first it's a tall lifted torso that moves forward. And if you're able to straighten the legs to do that, go ahead. If you need to bend in the knees to do that, no problem. And now for the next few breaths, a full surrender. So now you can have the back round as much as you would like. And then you can keep the bend in the knees or you can straighten the knees, your call. Nice. And then roll to your back. Keep the left foot where it is and cross the right ankle over, flexion in the right ankle. This is a reclined pigeon pose. So then you can bring the legs up so your left thigh is probably parallel to the wall in front of you and your left shin is parallel to the floor. Flexion in both ankles at this point. You can reach between the legs, hold behind the left thigh, pull the thigh towards you while you roll the right thigh away. It can also be helpful to take your right hand onto your right thigh, pull in with the left and away with the right. Shoulders and the back of the head should be easy on the ground. The work is happening in your right hip. Everything else is pretty easy. A few more breaths here. If you have any more opening, pull the left leg in, move the right leg away. And then release, hug in. And now the opposite, the right foot will be down on the ground, the left ankle will cross over, flexion in the ankle. Lift the right leg up so that the thigh is parallel to the wall in front of you, the shin is parallel to the floor. You can either reach both hands behind the right thigh and pull in, or you can reach the right hand behind the right thigh, and the left hand on the left side, encouraging it away. Try to avoid the knee, use the thigh. As much as you're pulling in, you're pushing away. They're equal and opposite energies. And one more inhale. Release the pose. Hug it in. Do whatever kind of movement you'd like. Hug your knees to your chest. Rock around a little bit, maybe side to side or longwise. One of those is going to, maybe you want all of it. One is going to feel really good though. And then as it's draining out, just send your legs up to the sky. And this doesn't have to be anything very controlled. Like some people like to really lock out the knees and press the heels up. Just draining energy down. So if you really like to lock out the knees and make this an active pose, you can go for that. If you want something more restorative, just let your legs be heavy. Softness in the knees, you're draining the energy down towards the earth. Hug both knees towards your chest. Drop the knees towards the right, the upper body towards the left. Simple twist. Come back into center. Hug knees. Knees to the left, upper body to the right. Back through center. Hug them in one more time. If you'd like a happy baby here, have a happy baby. And Savasana. Legs long. Make yourself comfortable, whatever that is for you. Okay. As far as physical cues, I would say be relaxed. So whatever that is for you. Head is heavy. Every single muscle, bone, ligament, tendon, every physical part of your body, even to the cells of your skin, become heavy, dense, liquid, easy. Releasing fully into the ground below you. The breath returns to an involuntary state. It flows in and out naturally, easily. If thoughts are coming to your mind, let them drift through like clouds. Try not to attach. Take a slow breath in. Soften your jaw and sigh it out. Movement wherever it's invited. Eventually move your head side to side. And stretch your whole body long, fingers far away from your toes. Hug your knees to your chest. Give them a good squeeze. And move over to whichever side of your body feels best. From there, come to a seated position. Just a moment to be in contemplation of all the things in your life. And if nothing else, this time in our life has afforded us space to examine our lives, to figure out what's important to us and what's not important to us. A time to simplify, a time to pare things down. So I hope that to the extent that you're able, you're taking advantage of this time for you, and I hope that you're enjoying these classes that we're offering. I wish I could be with you in the same room to offer these classes, but I'm glad that I can offer them to you here. And to that end, West End Yoga Studio is very happy to offer these classes to you. We are very happy to connect with you in any way we can. Please reach out to us if there's more we can do. We are taking donations to help keep our studio afloat when this crisis is over. We would like to be getting back to the studio, and we hope that you will be joining us there. To that end, there is a website that you can donate to. It's called Patreon, patreon.com/West End Yoga Studio, or West End Yoga, I believe it is. I have it written down. I'll show it to you at the end. But if you are able and willing, we would love to hear from you there. We also would love for you to just take classes and share them with your friends and your family. So thanks very much for joining us. And if you wait a second, I'll hold up that website for you. How do I make this visible? Wow, I think it's too bright here. So it's patreon.com/West End Yoga. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.